Fala galera, bem-vindos ao Cresceu Games, quem fala com vocês é o Cresceu. Vamos continuar aqui na série Rumo Platina de Tales of Arise. Nós estamos aqui no vulcão de Berg, santuário interno, onde a gente chegou numa área onde tem aqui a nossa luz de cura. E provavelmente nós teremos um boss logo aqui na frente, então bora lá, deixa eu só fazer um save aqui. É aqui mesmo. Bora. Eita, olha o tamanho.
What the hell is that thing? Probably that monster Nath warned us about, if I had to guess.
Do you think this might have been where one of those lights that shot out of the wedge landed?
But why this location, if the purpose of the wedge is to harvest Dana's astral energy?
We can figure that out later. If that thing gets into town, it's going to cause chaos. We need to take it down and move on. Let's go!
47?
Let me know if you need healing. Here it comes! Focus!
On your toes, everyone!
Prepare to be sealed!
Ei, como é que eu luto com isso?
Suddenly turning tail doesn't seem so ridiculous.
Why? Are you scared?
Me? Are you?
Do you even have to ask? Of course I'm scared!
Focus up before we become that thing's lunch.
It's summoning Zoogles?
Take care of them while keeping an eye on it. I'll stop its charge.
Thanks, Kisara. It looks like you got this one covered.
Far enough.
All mine. Dragon Swarm!
I can carve.
Magic
is another way. Here you go.
This one is mine.
Flame of fury. Sleep now. Burning.
There are interrupted.
Sword Rain Alpha!
Inferno
Stay here. Go.
This one's mine.
Take this!
Go for the stockpile.
Blood Steal.
Thunder blade. Now for something special.
Inferno Crosser.
Take this!
Evil.
Now you see what I can do.
Freeze Blitzer. Raging
Force
Cascade.
Blast!
My head's spinning just watching you.
Dance in the wind.
I'm not done!
Feel.
Now, Force Reeling!
Take it down.
Searing Gale!
Crossblade.
Down. You're armed.
Dragon Swarm!
Explosion.
Hurricane Slice.
Healing. Flame
Can't get out of this.
Lightning
Lightning
Strike.
Strike.
Thunderblade.
Nossa, que bicho aguenta porrada.
Doubly! In an instant! Impact Claw! Come and face me! You're mine! Burn in hell!
First aid. Purge malevolence.
Shattering
Pieces.
Attack time!
Annihilate now. Hurricane Flame. Away.
Dragon
Leave
Swarm!
the charges to me.
Tear away.
I never miss.
Dragon Swarm!
Hurricane Strike. Let's keep up the pressure.
Sword Rain Alpha!
Ready and wary. I'll smash you!
One more.
Dragon Swarm!
Dance in the wind.
Sword Rain Alpha!
Sleep now. Hear my
I
call.
could do without this pain.
Spread.
Huzzah!
Pierce evil.
Hurricane Strike.
Lightning Strike. Lancer.
Burn in hell!
In the wind.
Hurricane Strike.
In here.
Sword Rain Alpha!
First aid. Together.
There!
Here goes.
Lightning
Take
Strike.
it!
Flame of fury.
No escape!
Hurricane Strike.
Pierce evil.
Nossa, eu tô sem vida. Tô sem vida.
Mine.
Freeze Lancer.
Shattering pieces! Attack time!
Got it.
Aleluia.
Now go chance. Banana. Here. Arctic. Do it. Astral energy.
Say no more!
Mas e agora? Como é que eu ataco aquele bicho lá?
Here come more.
We'll just have to keep fighting.
An astral
That's my cue.
Shut him down!
Sealed. In here.
Make it rain.
Alpin. Astral energy.
Say no more! Got it!
Well done.
Smash the
Spread.
pieces.
Raging cascade. Into the
Hurricane
shadows. Don't mind if I ready. Finish with that outrage!
Não, não.
Gotcha!
Megasonic thrust! Burn in hell!
Close one! Explosion!
Shattering the pieces! Attack time!
Shockwave slash!
In here! Don't mind if I do! The raging cascade!
As impressive as always.
In here!
And here I hoped I was improving.
Sleep
No,
now!
I mean, you're even better than ever.
I've never seen Shionne actually look faster. Shionne! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Here's a healing art!
I owe you one.
Reinforcements incoming!
Not a problem! Not on my art expert coming through!
Double demon fang!
In here!
Can't be happening. Come on.
Seal!
You have to
Shockwave
run.
slash!
Tidal wave!
Shionne morreu.
Not on my watch! They're all coming after me!
I'm coming, Linwell.
I'm not scared. I'm totally fine. Blah, blah, blah.
Vai dar ruim.
You picked the wrong fight.
Raging cascade! Sleep now. I never miss. Free! Arts require complete focus. Here's the evil.
Meu Deus do céu.
You pay.
Vamos usar na rinha.
Try harder. Now.
É muita confusão.
Now the flame. Can't move.
Ai, agora morreu o Alphen.
This one's far enough! Armor won't save you!
Por que vocês estão atacando o bicho errado, meu Deus?
Inferno crossing!
Annihilation!
Lightning strike!
Fury!
Burning
Now!
water!
Here I go! Spread!
No way out.
Sleep now. Here, let me help.
Sword Rain Alpha!
Banana, let's go! Now.
You fight better at a distance.
Take it.
Further away, the better. You and I both.
I'll smash you!
Not today.
I'm over.
Sword Rain Alpha.
Throbs in pain.
It's
Aí,
weak.
quebrou.
This ends now. Strike. Sword Rain Alpha.
Make it rain. Astral energy.
Say no more.
Tá, mas e agora? A gente vai ter que lutar quantas ondas do inimigo?
It's about to strike.
Look sharp, everyone.
Eu não posso atacar ele.
We won't surrender. We won't retreat.
Todo mundo morreu. Ah, que legal. Eu vou ter que usar um desses aqui.
Not yet.
Whatever you do, just please stay safe.
Todo mundo morreu.
How are we supposed to take on something so big?
I'll handle it. Just watch and learn. That's enough. Go back down.
Chama Implacável. Derrote Malum ou Ifrite, uma pequena fagulha cresceu tanto que consumiu o gigante flamejante.
Everyone okay?
Yeah, I think so.
That thing scared the pants off me.
It felt like it had a different aura than other Zeugles, didn't it?
Yeah. It wasn't like the one that Almadria sicked on us either.
Its elemental astral energy variance was out of this world. It was like fighting a lord.
I guess it's safe to assume that if it came out of the wedge, it must have played some part in helping harvest astral energy. But what?
Perhaps a living spirit vessel? It's plausible, given the location. Or it may be part of a new force dispatched to regain control of Dana.
If we assume that monster was one of the 4 beams of light, we must have prevented something from taking place here.
I'd like to think so, knowing how much grief it gave us. But at least with that out of the way, we can keep moving forward now. Let's go.
Alfa em Chama Implacável. Olha aqui a onda incineradora que eu tinha falado que eu não sabia como é que liberava. Tá aí. Chave que abre certa porta em casalha. Basta olhar para ela para imaginar o que ela destranca.
With this, I can become even stronger.
E no fim não precisava ter usado aquele elixir ômega lá. Eu achei que a luta ia continuar.
Hey, is that it over there?
Se você tá tendo problemas para voltar para a cidade, eu posso dar uma mãozinha. Eu preciso comprar alguma coisa? Só uma expansão de vida, né? Tô com bastante dinheiro porque naqueles farm de materiais eu peguei bastante desses pedaços de ouro. 2 já dá 6.000, né? Forjar armas, vamos ver se a gente pode fazer algo diferenciado. Não. Não, esse aqui poderia já. Mas eu preciso da rugido ígneo polido. Não, não era pra equipar, Shionne.
You can never be too prepared, but it...
Aqui nada ainda. Mas essa aqui eu poderia. Eu só preciso dessa aqui. Aqui, ó. Aqui não. Aqui dá. Essa aqui aprimora as ars, mas perde um pouco. E aqui já tava, né? Beleza.
We have to spend so much?
Criar um acessório. Posso criar alguma coisa diferente? Não. Não sei se vai ter mais lutas, né?
Alvin?
Did you remember something?
No, but I have seen this starship before. This is it. This is the ship I traveled in when I escaped from Lenegis.
Three centuries later, and it's no worse for wear. I'll take a look at the internals.
Damn! I'm amazed it still works at all after all this time.
The past meets the present. I really am from a different time and place.
Yeah, but you've got us now, Alphen.
Not only that, but you've helped out so many people, too.
Law's right. Rinwell too. You're one of us now. No more carrying the weight of history on your shoulders. You're a part of this world.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
How's it look?
It should fly. All internal systems seem to be operating. However, considering how long it's remained inactive, I suspect it will take some time before it's ready for takeoff.
How much time are we talking here?
Starship mechanics are not what I'd call my forte, so I'd rather not hazard a guess.
So we've just got to sit around here and wait? I'm terrible at waiting.
That's because you're a child. Oh, but how about we use this time to prepare and gather supplies for the trip?
Good idea. Who knows when we'll be back from Lenegis once we leave? We should prepare ourselves for every possible scenario before we go.
Let's try not to stay away too long. I'd hate for anything to happen to the place while we're gone.
Either we race ahead, or we take due precaution to ensure we have no regrets. I shall leave it up to you as to how we proceed, Alphen.
Works for me.
Espere o navio estar pronto para zarpar.
It's funny, isn't it?
What is?
All this. When we first started this thing, did you ever imagine we'd be going to Lenegis? After all, this is the sort of thing I was rebelling against when I ran away from home, right?
I'm sure Zephyr would be proud if he knew what his son was doing right now.
And a little shocked, too.
We're defying the order of things that have persisted for 300 years. Deep down, I knew our journey would lead to confronting Lenegis.
Yeah, you maybe, but you're a Renan. The rest of us can barely even picture what it means to leave Dana.
No offense to Shionne and Dohalim, but it's worth remembering we're heading into enemy territory.
No offense taken, and this is no picnic for me either.
Remember, our aim is to ensure that both Lenegis and the Renan homeworld leave Dana alone for good. I don't think we'll be able to avoid a fight.
Is there no way we can talk them into leaving us alone?
The people of Lenegis?
Sure. I mean, we found a way to make it work with Shionne and Dohalim, right? And it's not just us. If places like Menancia can do it, then why can't we?
Because there are still many of my kind who believe it was right and natural that Rena reigns over Dana. There are those on Lenegis who have never stepped foot on Dana. I doubt whether they'd even listen to Danans.
Look, none of us want to fight. But these are the same people who fired that wedge down on Dana. What happens next is on them.
Right. We're not going to sit back and wait for them to oppress us again.
Right.
Don't forget, there's also a good chance the Red Woman is somewhere on Lenegis. And wherever she is, we should find the Renaissance too.
That's right. If we can take it back, then Shionne can finally get rid of her thorns. Shionne?
Huh? Yeah.
Quando é que será que ela vai abrir o jogo?
Shionne? Where'd Shionne go? How could she just go off on her own? She's not over there. Where did she run off to? Shionne. Shionne! It's your thorns? But why? You okay? Just now, it looked like you used your maiden powers to suppress your thorns. You can really do that?
Stay out of my way.
Wait a second. Are you planning to go alone?
Shut up!
Why would you do this?
I told you to shut up!
I won't let you.
I mean it.
I refuse to let you.
I won't tell you again. Move or I'll shoot.
If that's the case, then go ahead and shoot me!
Do you remember back when I was stabbed? By Rolron?
Yeah. I thought for sure that he had killed you back there.
That wasn't the first time.
Huh?
The first time was when I was only a child. After that, no matter how often, I just couldn't die.
Couldn't die? So you're immortal? How's that even...
I believe you, Shionne. But tell me how is something like that possible?
My thorns. They're me, but at the same time not. They're part of me. I have no idea why, but my thorns will never let me die. At least not before I'm meant to.
You can't die before your death?
When my thorns free themselves, it will be my death. I've seen it. A darkness that swallows up everything until nothing remains. It's a vision of oblivion I can't escape. I want to believe it's all just a bad dream. But no matter what I tell myself, I know it's not.
Yeah, but you... Wait. The whole reason you needed the Renaissance was to get rid of your thorns, right?
If I burn away what's inside, then what will happen to the rest of me? Right. Either way you look at it, I'm going to die. But if I am going to die, I figure I can at least take my thorns out with me. That's what I've been after this whole time.
That's why you turned your back on your fellow Renans and chose to fight with us, isn't it? And while we've all been fighting to keep on living, you have been with us fighting desperately to die.
was the plan. But then I met all of you. And before I knew it, I didn't want to die anymore.
Shionne, don't lose hope yet. We'll find a way to save you. There's still time to.
It's pointless.
Why?
Because the darkness won't just consume me. The truth is, it will consume all of existence as well. It was only a suspicion at first, but ever since the Red Woman triggered my maiden powers, I've been more certain than ever before. It was then that I finally came to realize my powers were holding my thorns in check the entire time. But they don't anymore. Not since Lenegis, when the wedge fell. Every day, I feel the thorn's power growing stronger inside of me. Pretty soon, I won't be able to hold them back anymore. And when that happens,
They will consume all existence.
And that's why you wanted to leave by yourself. You planned to find the Renis Alma on your own and sacrifice yourself to stop the thorns.
but that's too much. It's way too much. When this all began, I didn't care what happened to me or anyone else. And what happened to the Renans or the Danans didn't matter to me at all. I know I have to die, but I don't want to. Not now that I have this. I wish we had never met. Then I wouldn't have to feel this way.
Shionne!
Alvin?
Only living for the sake of dying is no better than being a slave. How can you endure this?
Alvin.
It's not fair. I don't care what anybody says. I won't let it happen! We can fight this! We'll fight until the end together. Isn't that what you said to me before?
Even if it should mean that it'll be the end of everything else, too?
Shionne, what do you want? It's your decision, ultimately. But if you decide not to fight fate, I will. Even if I have to do it alone.
No, you won't be alone. I'll fight as well.
Count me in as well. I want to be a force for good, not hate.
And me too. I meant it with all of my heart when I told you before. Neither of you are alone in this at all.
You guys...
And I, for one, don't believe this venture is without hope.
Huh?
Shionne is the descendant of a maiden from 300 years ago. Given the circumstances, it seems very likely that those events have some connection to her thorns. The true nature of which, I imagine we will discover as we make our way to Lenegis and uncover the truth of what's unfolding here.
I take it you mean we might find a way to get rid of her thorns and she'll live?
It's certainly possible. Though I suspect the nature of the Sovereign is connected somehow.
So be it. I've already lost everything I had once. And I won't let it happen again. Shionne. No matter what happens from now on, we're right here with you. All of us are. You are not alone.
Talvez eu vou ter que colocar no mudo essa parte, galera, por causa da música que tá tocando.
You guys. You're all so stubborn. Thank you, everyone. For right now, and a little while longer, I just want to hold on to this dream. And most of all, more than anything else, I want to be with all of you. So let's go. On to Lenegis.
Converse com o resto do grupo. Será que daí ele já vai direto pra Lennox? Não, acho que não, né?
The end of the world. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
I believe Shionne is telling the truth. What about you?
As a friend, yes, I want to believe her. Everything that's happened seems to point towards some sort of great danger that's lurking ahead of us. Still, it's hard to fathom something that could usher outright doom to the world. That those really are the stakes we face.
No, I understand. Even Shionne doesn't seem to know exactly what will happen to bring it all about.
We have so many pieces of the puzzle in our hands, so many clues, yet the complete picture eludes us.
So where do her thorns fit in then?
Well, I imagine they must sit at the very center of it all. You remember the voice we all heard while we were inside the wedge, don't you?
Yeah, I remember. It was the will of Dana's astral energy come to life. Well, that's what we all thought.
Right. And from that, we're able to hypothesize how vast concentrations of astral energy can become sentient. Let's return to when we found Shionne in Pelagian. When her thorns went wild, they contained far more astral energy than any mere Renin would normally have inside them.
So you think those thorns might be alive too? That their will is what keeps her from dying? But why would they want to destroy the entire world?
As for that, I really cannot say for certain. Its goals still remain a mystery. It may be a mere fluke that her maiden powers have been able to contain it thus far.
You know, I've noticed since we've met that you like figuring out riddles.
Can you blame me? When one realizes that the world they once thought to be true is but a mere facade, they can't help but seek the truth. Especially when that deception has led to others getting hurt.
Dohalim?
I imagine the remaining pieces of the puzzle that we seek rest somewhere within Lenegis. As for what the final picture will look like, who can say? I think it's best we not dwell on it too much for the time being.
Right.
O que será que nos espera do outro lado depois que todas as peças se encaixarem?
How you holding up?
Who, me?
Yes, you. You took a hit from those thorns again, didn't you?
Oh, that? That was nothing.
Compared to what Shionne's going through, you mean? Still, even if you yourself might be willing to endure that kind of pain, that doesn't mean Shionne wants to have to see you get hurt by her thorns, you know?
Yeah, I know. I'll be careful.
Shionne doesn't know how lucky she is to have you around, you know? Dashing in to save her at the last minute.
Yeah, very funny.
I'm being serious. You went up and held her close like you still had that mask on, and you didn't even bat an eye. She really needed that. That's what I mean when I said you saved her. Just like you did with the rest of us.
I just want for Shionne what we all have. The ability to touch someone without the fear of killing them. Those thorns have robbed her of the kind of everyday things we all take for granted. And it's not right.
You can say that again. It may be normal for us, but that doesn't make it any less special or important for her. I hope she gets what she wants. I have my own dreams, but a world without her, where she dies so we can all survive, isn't a world I want to live in.
Agreed. It's like more and more keeps getting taken from her, and I'm done with it.
Vamos lá recuperar o que roubaram da gente.
Can't sleep?
After everything we just heard, how could I?
Fair enough.
Shionne's had to deal with so much on her own. Even when we were all laughing and celebrating, she just kept quiet and didn't say anything. I thought she was keeping her distance because of her thorns. That it was because she didn't want to hurt anybody by getting too close. I just figured that that was the type of person she was, you know? But it turned out to be none of that. All this time, she felt like she had to die and sacrifice herself for the greater good. But even then, she didn't think she could say anything to us about it.
I know.
She was so alone this entire time. How could I call her a friend and yet be so completely blind to everything she was going through?
I'm sure it made her happy, knowing you were there for her.
You really think so?
Yeah, I do. If she didn't think of us as friends, I don't think she could have ever opened up to us like that. You were a good friend to her before, and you'll be an even better one now.
Yeah, I really hope so. I want to be the best I can for her. When you think about it, we were all alone in our own way. But over time, we've all found ways to let each other into our lives. I hope Shionne's able to do that one day too. No, I mean, I hope she's able to do that more. Lots and lots more. I think it'd be really nice if we could all just be there to support each other when it really counts. And forget about our grudges and pain.
Rinwell.
Seria legal se as pessoas se unissem e começassem a se apoiar.
Did you know?
You mean about Shionne?
Yeah, I didn't have the slightest idea. I mean, every once in a while I thought something seemed a little off, but I never could have imagined. It's like a completely different world was spinning around me and I couldn't even see it.
You and me both. I mean, I knew something was bothering her, but I could never quite figure out what it was.
You? But you're the one always looking out for her, aren't you?
That's what I thought. But in reality, I didn't understand it all. What I thought was helping and being there for her was actually just driving her into a corner.
At least you figured it out in time, though, right?
I don't think we're out of the woods yet. But yeah, you're right. We brought her back from the edge, and we're going to stop those thorns from taking her. No matter what.
Yeah, with all of us together, there's nothing we can't handle. Shionne, the world, we can save everyone. And I mean it when I say we, Alphen.
I know. No lone wolfing it.
Hey, you're the expert on what my dad would say. Do you think he'd pat me on the back or tell me off?
Zephyr, I don't think that he'd have that much to say, to be honest. You're your own man now, Law. And you've already made up your own mind about what you want.
I guess he couldn't say anything even if he wanted to.
Law.
Sorry. I guess those of us amongst the living have enough problems to deal with, don't we? We'll need all our strength to save Shionne. I'll probably end up worrying again at some point, but I guess I'll think it over more then. That okay?
Yeah, I think it is.
Mantenha o foco, Alphen. A gente tem muita coisa para fazer. Se a gente ficar sobrecarregado com o que está acontecendo, não vai ajudar em nada.
Hey, you doing all right?
I seem to cause nothing but worry. As much as I try to look like I have things under control, everyone still worries about me.
You're not the only one.
Hey, do you remember the first time you said I was your friend?
No? When was that? Sorry, I can't remember.
That's okay. It came so naturally to you, I'm not surprised you forgot. I was different back then. The Danans were not even people to me, and I knew I would always be alone. But in that room with Deadheim, when you called me your friend, it just shattered the wall that I'd built up around me. Because until that moment, I'd only seen you as a means to an end. I thought of you as a way to use the blazing sword, and to obtain the Renis Alma. But after that day, one time became two, and before I knew it, you'd made a habit of calling me and Dohalim your friends. It didn't matter that we were Renans. You cared about us as you would any other people. Then, everyone else started to call me their friend too. To think of me as their friend. Before then, I never even dreamed I could have that. I didn't want to die and lose you all. But I also didn't want to live if it meant you would all die in my place.
Shionne.
But then I realized I'd only really been thinking of myself that entire time. After saying how I felt, and hearing what you all had to say, I finally understood that. Don't worry, it's okay. I'm not planning on dying anymore. I've met too many people along the way who I truly care about to give in now. So I'll fight. For Dana and for myself. I'll fight against my fate to preserve our future. And I'll win, come hell or high water. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I won't let the world end because of me.
It's going to be a long, hard road ahead, Shionne. Our fight won't be over until everyone, both Danans and Renans, can finally live in peace. But I swear I'll be there with you until the very end.
Thank you.
Remember what we learned back in Calaglia? There's no wall so high that we can't break it down.
Yeah, I think you may be right about that.
Everyone well rested? Then let's go. We depart for Lenegis.
Então beleza, galera. Finalmente descobrimos então qual que era a jogada da Shionne, o que estava acontecendo. E agora nos resta ir para Lenegis. Eu imagino que vai ser uma região complicada, né? Será que liberou alguma missão secundária? Não. Não. Então no próximo vídeo partimos para Lenegis. Então, muito obrigado por terem assistido e até a próxima. Valeu!